All right, back for another episode of the DSP, and joining me, I played his track last week, Blame on Me. His name is Isaiah Firebrace, and he joins us in Australia. How are you, bro?
In the most Aussie way. G'day. I'm good.
Mate, like I said just before when we were chatting, you give me the great music, I'll press play, I do the easy part, you know what I mean? For you, how hard did you work on this song to have it out for release right now?
I've been working on this song since like 2019. I did a lot of writing back then, and this is one of the good ones that came out of one of the sessions. And it's honestly been in my vault on my phone for a while, and it was just one that always stuck and was. I just knew it was so catchy, and I was like, you know what? I really think people would vibe to this one. It's great. It's got a good vibe. It's catchy as I think it's catchy. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I've got it out, and the reaction has been so awesome. Yeah, it just feels really good. Like, even though the song is like technically 2 years old, it still
Yeah.
feels fresh and new, which is what I love.
What's it about this song for you that you could sit on it and leave it in the vault for 2 years and it still had that spark in the back of your mind that I got to get this one out? Because a lot of musicians will just move past music that sits there for that long.
I get that. I mean, with a lot of my other songs, I'm like, I'm not really into that anymore. But I don't know, this one, I guess the message of the song and just the attitude that it has just kind of really stuck. And like the production was also reworked as well to sound much more, just fresh. And yeah, I think this was just one of the good ones. Yeah. And I just kind of went with my heart on this one.
Yeah, you do a little bit of research and you look back at, your success and, you see your stream numbers in the millions and, you won X Factor as well. But like, let's go back even before that. Where did, that first note come from? When was music, ingrained into who Isaiah is?
I started singing at the exact same time I started talking. So it's always been like this second nature thing that I've always had. Dad really taught me so much about, music, and he really, made me listen to like lots of rock and roll back in the day, lots of country music. I'm a huge country music fan. Nothing like pop or like soul or R&B. It was all like rock and roll and country music, which is funny because now, I'm like pop R&B.
Mm-hmm.
But music was always around in the family, and at family events, I'd always be performing, and at my auntie's 50th and cousin's 21st, I'll always be up there with my dad, my brother, like performing at these events. So music has always been there. It's just been a huge part of my life ever since I was young. And yeah, like I feel like when I went on X Factor, it was such a dream come true, and it was really a moment for me and my family, and a real moment for the dreamers out there. Like, if you put your mind to something and if you really have a passion for something, you honestly can do it if you are disciplined enough. And that's what I love to kind of share, that story of be disciplined, follow your heart, follow your passion, because great things can happen.
Yeah, we've always been told in Australia, about the Aboriginal culture and how important storytelling is to, to your story. And, I feel like like listening to your music, you're so good at telling stories. Was that something that was ingrained in you, how to tell a good story that's captivating?
Having the value of being honest and being comfortable with being honest and being comfortable with being vulnerable as well has been huge in my music. And as a songwriter as well, when I first started out, I was like, because songwriting sessions are like therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started songwriting, I was a bit like insecure with it because I didn't want to be like writing about my feelings and talking about my feelings in the studio and things like that. But being vulnerable is a superpower, and being honest is what people want. They want to hear real stories. Music is about connecting on that real level. And people can tell when something is manufactured too much, or when something's a bit too fake, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So having authenticity really kind of lets you kind of break away from the other BS, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just that honesty, I mean, like, and that storytelling is a huge part of Aboriginal culture. But yeah, I'm just an honest person. I just like telling my story, whether it be like a breakup or, go out and have fun, or be yourself, or anything like that. I just try to make people feel the vibe.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you definitely get that across in your music, which is amazing. Let's talk about the last 2 years in Australian culture, because there's been this massive shift, and it's been amazing to see, the Black Lives Matter movement had a start with it. I did a special on my show with Ziggy Ramo, and then I had Jerome Farhar on my show as well to do some amazing things. Have you seen a shift? Have you seen the rise of a lot of these amazing Indigenous artists, and what's it been like from your side of the story?
I have seen a change in just like society in general, like their approach to people of color, and inclusion and awareness as well. Even like I remember just a few months back, like my record label had this amazing big conference about how to be more inclusive of people of color, and how we can create a positive environment for them. So people are making change, and people are aware of the whole BLM protests that happened. Like that was just like a switch for people, because there were people out there who didn't even know that people of color go through this. They didn't even know that there was such thing as a white privilege or anything like that. So it really, really woke people up, and I can see it even on social media. With like gig opportunities. I don't know, people in Australia, we have Nadoc week as well, and we have all these weeks and days celebrating Aboriginal culture. Like I really see just much more of a presence, just even online, which is like huge. And it's great. I feel like the BLM protests, and I was there. I went to the protests as
Me
well.
too. I love that. Good job.
Yeah, because I wanted to. It's the first like protesting thing I've ever been to, but it felt so empowering to be like, what, I'm proud of myself, and I want to be around all this good energy for a good cause. And it's great to see like the change, and just the awareness, and just the conversation being had is incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing to see, the Dreamtime Games, and for Jerome to play before the game out here in Western Australia. For you, Nadoc Week is coming up. Is there anything on the cards, performance-wise or moment-wise, that you are going to be a part of or want to be a part of?
To be honest, I'm not sure at the moment. like I don't even know if I'm booked or anything. I don't know. I'll try and celebrate as much as I can. I mean, even just if I get to spend time with family, that would just be the best. I love family time. It keeps me grounded, because I can tell you, like, I've got caught up with, like the wrong crowd and the wrong people who are just taking from me. And you can always count on your family to, make you feel safe, humble you as well. And just, like family's family.
Yeah. What are some of the things that I guess you have learnt to manage, whether it be, where your time is, or who to trust, or I guess, your instincts as a musician? A lot of the time, as you start to get the attention, you kind of lose control of that stuff. How has it been for you, over the last few years?
Yeah, good question as well. I've had to do my fair share of growth in myself, just as a person, let alone like being an artist and stuff. But I've had to really grow a lot and really set a lot of boundaries, which has been super important. I've had to kind of like stop getting so much validation externally from people, which is something that I really struggle with, because I struggle with like self-esteem things. So I was always around it, I guess, even the wrong people, because I felt kind of comfortable with, I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like my self-esteem was kind of like a bit low at a point, and I was just around the wrong people. And it took me that to kind of realize that, you need to set boundaries. Like you're in charge of your choices, your responsibilities. And now as a 21-year-old, I feel the responsibility for my career and the person I need to become, and what that entails. And that means being around good people, a positive group, working on yourself, your self-growth, your mindfulness, spirituality, all that stuff I'm super into. So I've really learned that as an artist in this industry, you've got to have your identity down packed, because if you don't, stand for something, you will fall for everything. So that's a huge lesson that I've had to learn.
I love that one. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. It's so very true.
Sorry,
And if
I almost went on a tangent there.
no,
Sorry.
mate, you answered the question that I asked, you know, and it's great that you're only 21 though. So like to learn that and to be at that part of your career already and be mentally, you know, sound like that is very important. And it's great to see, you know, and, let's have a chat about this song. Blame on Me is the new single. It's 2 years old, but what are you telling? What's the story in this song?
Basically, I feel like it's definitely from like a ex relationship that I've had, and it's basically just like a song about, you know, I guess leaving what you had with your head held high. You know, there's always jabs and there's always punches, but you know, like you got to walk away with your head held high and a bit of, you know, confidence kind of in yourself still, and you got to stand by your truth. That's the main message of this song, is standing by your truth and not letting people around you like put blame on you, put unnecessary things on you, put bad energy onto you. You know, like it's about standing up for yourself and standing by your truth for sure. And yeah, I it's one of my favorite songs that I've written, and that's why I guess even though it was written like a few years ago, it still sounds fresh, because I don't know, that's how you just know it's a good song, if it still hits. Like it's first time listening to it, right? So yeah, it's got a few hidden messages in there, but if someone can listen to this song and feel confident and feel like they've got a little bit of attitude, and you be like, you know what, I'm gonna do my thing, you can't tell me whatever, you know. So
well,
yeah.
I almost feel like you've grown into this song. You had this song, you know, 2 years ago, but it was the right time for your life to put it out now because you feel more confident in who you are.
Everything happens for a reason, and that's exactly right. That's honestly exactly right. It felt like the right time to put this song out. And yeah, like I said, the reaction's been great. People are enjoying it. So I've heard.
you can use that in any interview to come, you know, just use that as your answer, say that and be like, yeah, this is what I was always going to say. That's what it is. I've grown into this song.
Yeah. Yes, I'll keep that for the next one.
So like, I guess growing up and where you're at now in your career, who are you looking at? You know, any other artists out there, whether they are Australian or international artists, that you really love what they're doing with their career or their sound, and where you would love to be?
You've got good questions. I like this.
Who's on your playlist? Who's on your playlist, bro?
I listen to a lot of R&B. I listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of throwback R&B, throwback hip hop. Pop artists that I really,
are we talking
really
like
enjoy.
Are we talking like Usher R&B, or are we talking
yeah
okay.
We're talking Usher, we're talking like throwback artists. People my age these days probably don't really know some of the artists I listen to, but in terms of like pop and things like that, I'm a huge fan of the Biebs. I love Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Charlie Puth, I think, is awesome. Like these really young artists who are just, you know, killing it and just have their own sound. Everyone loves Ariana Grande. I think she's awesome. Kehlani is an artist that I really enjoy. Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh, you're talking my language. Come on, Ty, throw SZA in there as well. Like, come on.
Yeah, like I could keep going. Like my taste in genre is, like I said, everything from country music to Western country music to 80s to 90s. I'm influenced by a lot of things, but yeah, some of those artists that I just mentioned are people that I love to keep an eye at and always down to listen to their music. Yep.
It's been a massive 2 years, I think, for Australian music. I want to say the biggest 2 years in Australian music history. You know, we've got the Kid Laroi, Tones and I. You've got TK Maidza out there as well. Ashwarya, she's working with Vic Mensa. You got Filler, he's with Trippie Redd. What's happened in Australian music in the last couple of years?
Well, honestly, it's awesome, and I'm glad you mentioned Kid Laroi as well, because like he's just a name that you just hear all the time. Like I'm proud of him for going over there and just killing it. I don't know. I know the Australian music industry, especially pop music, has been kind of in the shadow of, I guess, America, because it's always about America, you know. I'm glad that Australian pop music is getting up there. You know, Australia will always have its Triple J scene and that whole music scene, which is amazing. I love Triple J. But to see these artists killing it in like the mainstream commercial things is so awesome. It gives me inspiration because I want to be there. I want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm working towards that too.
Well, that's the truth, man. And you are working towards that. I think the product that you're putting out is at that level. It's just about getting more eyes on you. So all you got to do is continue to do what you're doing, man. This new song, Blame on Me, we're going to go crazy on the DSP. And, you know, I appreciate you taking the time out to support and to tell your story, bro.
No, I appreciate it so much. I really do. Thanks so much, Dustin. You appreciate it. You're my guy. Thank you.